Welcome to the Sikh Meets World podcast. I'm Sean Guma.
I'm going to Ahuja.
And we are in LA.
We're in an Airbnb and in a closet after a long day of podcasting.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're excited to share with you an interview that we got to do with Babbu, a.k.a. Babbulicious, a.k.a. Prince, a.k.a. one of the funniest men on YouTube. Just doing it big from his home in the greater Toronto area, Mississauga in Toronto, and making a name for himself in that place.
Right. And what brings us here is that we're doing a video with Funny or Die on the Sikh community that's going to be released in June.
Yeah, and he's our male lead for the video, Harpreet.
Yeah.
The conversation was really great. I got to speak with him, as to earlier today, and understand his motives for why he's doing this, what he's hoping to do with his platform and his career, and some of the great questions that we all ponder is, where did he get that tight jacket from? Which he answers
pretty
thoroughly
hilarious
here. Yeah, so it was great. It was a great conversation. Welcome to the Sikh Meets World podcast. I'm with Babbu.
What's going on? It's Babbu from Canada.
Yo, I gotta say though, you came in looking fresh.
Thanks.
You got that LA style going on right now.
I'm wearing a black t-shirt, black pants, and
yellow bug, white chucks, high tops,
and a gray jacket. That's it. It's very simple. I wear the same clothes every day, so
you got that Steve Jobs thing.
That's it.
That's funny. All right, well, you're here with us to shoot a video tomorrow.
Yep.
We're making with Funny or Die to take on some cultural stereotypes and challenge what it means to be quote unquote woke.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be playing our male lead character, Harpreet.
Harpreet, yeah.
What do you hope to do with this character? What are you trying to convey to the broader audience?
I don't know. It's still like I'm still trying to figure it out, because I was talking to Gerwin about it like a month ago. Like this has been in talks for like, I don't know. I remember I met him in Toronto during SikhCon. I don't know if you were there, but
no, I wasn't.
That was like in the summer, like August maybe. And he's like, hey, I'm doing something that's Funny or Die, and I want you to be part of it. I'm like, okay, cool, take my number. And then like 5 months later, he hit me up. He's like, hey, it's Guru. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? And then I think since like January, actually, we had been talking about it. So I think we were supposed to shoot early March, and then now it's end of April.
It's only delayed a little bit, all right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's Misaki now. It's
yeah. So we're talking about it, and so the character, for the most part, is like a normal guy. Just like a regular worker, like, he works in an office. That's kind of the character. So for those who do know what I've done in the past, with Just Rain, my character is usually the opposite. So Just Rain plays the normal character, and I play the outlandish, like,
you're the
goofball.
Kramer of
I'm pretty much
Brown.
the Kramer, where like, I play like an uncle, or I play like this guy who wears a tie jacket, who's like a thug. Or I play like, like a guy, like a Hindu uncle who speaks horrible Hindi. So like, there are all these like different people that are just like, putting on voices or putting on an act. But like, for me to act as myself, or like a normal person, I'm really bad at. So like, that's where I'm trying to figure out how I can add a little bit of a character to this guy, so it's not so, just like me. Like when I'm myself, I'm just very like sarcastic, and it just doesn't come off natural.
I want to start with this question.
Yeah.
What did you tell your parents when you decided you want to make YouTube videos?
So again, the thing is, like, I don't necessarily make YouTube videos. I'm a part of them. So it's kind of different in that way, because I'm not like at home with a camera and setting up and doing this and, disturbing my parents while they're doing stuff.
That's Just Rain. He's just,
for the most part, yeah. Like, I think he like did it like when his parents were at work or something. But no, like, my parents have always been like supportive in general. Like, they've never cared in terms of like they've always just been supportive regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think my mom found it amusing that I was doing it, or she'd be like, "Oh, my friend saw this video and you're in it, and show me it now. I want to see it." My dad's kind of just like in and out. He's like, "Oh, that's cool," and he's kind of like,
are they sharing it on Facebook?
Pardon?
When your videos come out?
My parents don't have Facebook.
No, they're off. Oh.
No. My dad got it for like a day, and he's like, "Yo, everybody's messaging me. Peace out." My mom's like not tech savvy. She recently got an iPhone from a flip phone, so like she sends me WhatsApp messages, and it's just cute.
Did she send you voice memos? That's what my mom does.
No, not yet. I don't think she knows how to do that yet. But
don't show her. It's gonna go downhill.
She sent pictures. She forwarded me. Like, forwarding is like kind of tricky. Like, you have to like swipe or hold down and then click forward.
Yeah.
And then she forwarded me this like video, and I was like, oh man, don't become one of these moms where you're forwarding like these like trendy videos. It was like a video on like, it was a good content. It was like to text and drive kind of thing. So I guess she's like, hey, be careful.
You get those health habit ones, like they're like, drink milk 8 times a day and you'll save your heart.
So my mom's friend, so before my mom had an iPhone, she's like, yo, add my friend and send her photos for me. Like mom was like, yo, send photos from this night, send photos of like, she just wanted to share photos of like her family, whatever, with her friend.
Yeah.
So I'd send it to my mom's friend on WhatsApp. And then, now like that auntie just forwards me these like these just random things. I'm like, yo, I don't even talk to you. Like just all these random things. Like,
can you like low key block her? Or is that too far?
Well, not really. I don't think she would know because I don't think I've met her. Like my mom, it's just my mom's friend. So like, but I'm like, oh, LOL, this is kind of funny. And then I just delete the conversation or something.
Well, I'm sure you have lots of aunties sending you stuff because you're internet famous. You are, an influencer. How do you feel that's changed you over time now?
It's weird because I personally, I don't see it as a change. Like I've never, again, similar to how like it wasn't me making YouTube videos. It was like I'm doing it with just me, or I'm doing it with whatever. Part of like the ownership of me being like attached to that is like, oh, I'm a part of something else. So it's not particularly mine. So I've never been like, oh yeah, I'm a comedian or I make YouTube videos or. Not
true.
Why?
The review videes
are
the greatest thing on the internet.
Okay.
We need more. It's been so long.
I know. I mean, those I just do. I sure I should do those. I'm pretty sure I would be like MKBHD at this point. People like, what's this guy's...
Dude, you can make so much money on Amazon or like anyway. You'd be killing it.
If I was consistent, I'd probably be like at 100,000 subscribers or something.
I think so.
Hey. I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. People yell at me like, yo, do it. I figure like no one gets it because it's like,
the stapler one? Are you kidding? That was amazing. That was just like everything I wanted on the internet and more. Yeah.
I mean, okay, yeah. So outside of all that, like, I don't, it's hard for me to call myself an influencer. Like, or, I always say it, I'm just a guy. I'm shy usually. Like if I meet someone and like, oh, I'm a big fan, I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm just like awkward and they always expect me to be like funny. I was at this wedding and some guy's like, oh, I'd expect you to wear your tie jacket today. I'm like, I'm at a wedding. Like I'm wearing a tie jacket at a wedding. I don't know you. And like, why would I wear a tie jacket at this wedding? What would be like?
That's too funny.
And I'm like, all right. I'm like,
is he expecting you to wear it like over the suit?
I don't know. I was just like, why would you expect me to wear it? Like, you didn't know I was going to be at this wedding in the first place. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so people are like, oh, where's your tie jacket? Where's this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like,
where is the tie jacket from? Where did you get this thing?
Yeah, so my brother, so it was a trend in like the early 2000s to wear over like super baggy clothes. And part of that was NASCAR jackets, race car jackets. So a few examples I can give you, like in a Ghostface music video, Ghostface Killah, he's a hip hop rapper from the Wu-Tang. It's called Mighty Healthy. He, in like 2 different scenes, he's wearing like these race car jackets. Funny enough, one of them is a tie jacket, but you can't really see it because he's in a car.
And that stuck with you. You were like, that's what I need.
Well, no, it wasn't that. So anyway, so that was like a trend, like early 2000s, like very baggy clothes, loose jeans, Timbs. That was the swag.
They had your pants down to your like bottom
exactly,
of your butt.
Yeah, super long tees.
That was like me in middle school. You should have saw me.
Yeah, that was me exactly when I was in grade 9, grade 10. So I have an older brother. He's 5 years older than I am. His name is Harmon, and he's kind of like my dad, I would say, quote unquote. Like he's like, I guess because he's older, anything that he was exposed to kind of trickled down to me. So like for me at my age, I was like exposed to different ideas earlier than like I guess my peers were.
Sure.
So anyway, so when he was in university, he had that jacket. He just bought that jacket to like stunt at the clubs, you know what I mean? Like he'd go to the clubs and wear it. And I remember he's like, yo, I got mad looks one day and this is this. So I was like, oh, say no more. Anyway, so, yeah, so because, so he's 5 years older than me and he's taller. And at that time I was much chubbier. So like the bigger clothes fit me, even though they didn't fit me. Like I'd feel comfortable wearing it. It didn't like droop on me. So anyways, that tie jacket was one of those jackets that he just bought as like a stylish jacket.
Where was the first place you wore that jacket to?
Me?
Yeah, do you remember?
I wore it and I was in grade 11. I wore it to high school.
Every day?
No. Just like, it was just like, it's not a jacket you wear every day. It's just like, like a really cool top, essentially.
All right.
So again, when I was in 11th grade, that was 2005. So yeah, it was like still stylish to wear baggy clothes. Right. And I was still a little chubbier then too. Yeah, so, when I wore it then, no one like thought of it as a joke or anything like that. It was just like, oh, cool, it's a nice, interesting, colorful shirt you're wearing, or colorful jacket.
You ever been to a NASCAR race?
No, not
I've done that a couple times.
How's that?
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So then, this was, and then I think whenever, I can't remember the first skit me did.
Yeah.
I think it was Top 5 Brown Guys. I can't remember the year. Might have been 2010.
Yeah, probably
2011, around that time.
Earlier than that, I think. No,
I can't remember. We'll check it.
Yeah, we'll fact check.
Yeah,
get my assistant on.
Exactly. He was like, "Yo," like, and so I used to do that voice, like that. "Yo, what are you saying?" Like that voice, because, like, my sister, like, I used to hang out with my sister. She's 2 years older than I am, and like, I used to, like, my mom would be like, "Okay, she can only go out if you go out with her," right? Like, they still like let her out, but I would like tag along with her, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So then she had guy friends, and they're very like macho, like Brampton thugged out kind of guys. Like, they would talk like that. And so I just picked up on it, and I'd always hear it, and I'd kind of like snicker like afterwards and laugh about it and like copy them. And then
what's this character's name? Like,
so his name is Prince.
Prince, okay.
Yeah, Prince, the One True King. That's like his nickname. That's his nickname he goes by.
It's the One True King.
It makes no sense, but that's his nickname.
Yeah, I saw the podcast with Just Rain. You were explaining it a little bit, but
yeah,
it was unclear.
Yeah. So there's no real backstory. Like, we're making that up as we went on, like that on that podcast.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So anyway, so just meets like, hey, I need you to play a gangster character. I'm doing this thing with top five most annoying brown guys. Or like be like a fake Brampton thug. I was like, okay, cool. I'm like, what should I wear? And then I went to my closet, and I had all those like old baggy clothes that like my brother and I wore, like in the back of the closet. And I'm like, what's like the most like interesting jacket here? And I grabbed that one. So it wasn't like intentional, like, this is the jacket. This is gonna make people are gonna love this.
Make history.
Yeah, it wasn't like that at all. It was like, there's like LRG jacket, there's this, there's that. So I was like, this is the most like I've seen people, like, out of all the styles of jackets, I've seen people wear that jacket, like, kind of now, like, but not like interesting people who like, there's people who are like stuck in like 2005, 2006 in terms of how they dress. Yeah. And that's that character. He's one of those guys who's like still wears like those older baggy clothes. I
mean, I think it's why it resonates so well, because we all know a brown guy that's kind of like this dude.
Yeah. Agreed. That's awesome, I guess.
I'd like to kind of build on that, sure. You know, having had such success with Just Serene, doing all these amazing videos and, you know, getting such popularity. What do you do outside of making these videos? Yeah,
so outside of all this, my life is more, my brother and I have a design and film agency. For me, I went to university, I dropped out, and then I went to art school, like another university. And I dropped out of that as well. So for me, everything I kind of just picked up naturally. And like, I dropped out, I think I dropped out initially when I was 19. And then 2 years later, I applied to the art school and I got in, and I dropped out of that after a year. And it wasn't because like I wasn't doing well in school. It was just like we got to a point where we were able to do projects that were like paid projects. And for me to be in school took away from us doing work, you know what I mean? Like paid work. So I was like, okay, for me, like, I learned more as I did a project, like, from scratch. Like, I was just learning, like, Adobe Illustrator. Like, I did use Photoshop. Then people like, you need to use Illustrator because it's, like, print quality ready. This is, like, nerd talk. No one knows what this is talking about. But,
I'll just cut it out. Don't worry.
Sure. Like, anyways, Illustrator is, like, a program that's more common in, like,
yeah, I got you.
The world. So I, like, picked up and started learning that while doing someone's project.
Yeah.
Like, while someone, like, were paying us to do something. So, like, that project that we had to do, I learned way more in terms of, like, aesthetic and tools than I did when I was in schools. Like, school was, like, still theory-based, and, like, like, the projects were, like, you know, like, more experimental. Like, it just didn't, like...
Speaking of art in this sense and how you design things, you're like so good at the characters.
Yeah.
Like, I think you really distilled the essence of the uncle into a science. It's honestly incredible. There's so many people that like I can think of personally.
Thank you.
That fit that script. How have you thought about designing characters, and like what do you have a process there, or is it just like, you know, this just feels natural?
It's usually based on people I've met. And like for that Khalsa uncle, there's an uncle. I won't say his name. I doubt he'll listen to this, but I don't really know him, but like, do you know who Jagmeet Singh is? He's a politician from Toronto,
for sure.
Yeah, so
who doesn't know who he is?
Yeah, exactly. So like we're like one of the projects that we did was like design wise was like through his like political campaigns, like his first political campaign. So I learned a lot while I was doing that. And in that circle, like there was like so many different people that were supporters or like volunteers and whatnot. And there's a lot of Khalsa uncles as well, because like, yo, there's a Singh who's up there running stuff or like trying to do it. Let's give him our support. So like there's a lot of Khalsa uncles that had that vibe. And there's one guy in very particular who wore those kind of sunglasses, who was kind of just like, outspoken, and, he would burp probably, and no one, like, he wouldn't, like, no, like, he wouldn't excuse himself, right? And, he's just like that character is pretty much based off that guy. So, a lot of it's based off that. And then, and I know that for that character, just Meath was like guiding me as to like more specific things that people would say. And, so a lot of the characters, like a lot of it I come up with, or like I figure out and just copy or imitate them. And I just do that in general. Like I'll meet someone else, like imitate them around my friends, like kind of behind their back. And then that kind of slowly becomes a character.
Do you guys like co-write the scripts and like what the actual dialogue will be?
Yeah. So like just Meath will have the mechanic skit. He had the idea, like,
the skit idea.
Yeah, the skit idea fleshed out for the most part.
Great.
But while we're shooting or while we're filming, like we kind of go back and forth as to what, like he gives me the general idea, and then we like kind of riff and then get to the point where
it's like a staged improv, like you're
yeah. It's like that's a good thing about working with Jasmeet, is that like we understand each other so well in that regard. Like he's super precise of like how he wants us to do things, and I'm like the oddball that's able to I'm like jazz, you know what I mean, where you can like go off key and spice it up and stuff. But like at the end of the day, he wants like the song structure, if we're referring, still sticking with the jazz analogy, he'll still want the song structure to start and end this way, but the in between, like the improvisation and stuff like that, is like where me and him shine and work well together.
Dope.
Yeah.
So you've now kind of branched out on your own. You started a fashion brand. Tell us a little bit about Committee Member International.
Yeah. So Committee Members is, again, something that my brother and I started just based out of kind of, not boredom, but just kind of like, it's always something that's been a part of us. As I was saying, because he's 5 years older than I am, growing up, we kind of watched the same music videos, like had the same magazines and looked at the same things. So like, me and him have like a very like I'd say like 90% like we see the same thing in terms of like design. Like we'll see something like all like randomly, like we'll individually be scrolling on Instagram and I'll see something I like and he'll send me something I like and he'll like share it with me and I'm like, yo, I was just gonna share that with you. So like that's a small thing. But like anyways, we were doing these design projects and we always like hip hop and we always like the fashion end of things. And it was just something that just kind of came naturally. Like when I was in grade 10, I started my own like mini clothing line. Just like I'd make shirts and make custom shirts and sell them to people in school. And that was kind of like, I kind of understood it a little bit, like a very small amount of like making clothes or doing fashion.
You got a hustle to you though.
Yeah, I had that like random hustle when I was so young. Nowadays I don't have that hustle, but I was like, well, how did I have that dream? I don't know. And then, so then my brother and I just kind of just like, hey, let's just try this out. And then we started like 2013, 2014-ish. And then it's not like super successful. It's not even successful if you want to, it's still kind of just like a hobby that we do. And like when we have time, we dedicate time to it. And then, we do photos, we do the design, we do the video, we do like everything, start like, folding and shipping them out and everything. So like, it's a fun process, but it's kind of like a hobby that we hope it's a side hustle that we want to be the main hustle at some point.
What are you selling these days?
So last drop was fleece, just like hoodies and crew necks. It's colder in Canada.
Yeah.
But now it's getting warmer again. So like we had a plan to do something for like every 2-3 weeks, like a drop, and life got in the way. So we're like, all right, this is kind of on hold.
Yeah.
We have a few other people that work with us, and one of my good friends, Venki, who's part of the team as well. He got a full-time job now, so he's kind of like he's just getting used to that, and he's like, yo, I'm so sorry, but at one point I'll get back to this. So like we're all kind of all over the place. It's been super busy, but
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
now that you have this platform, I think
Sure.
it's incredibly powerful to see someone like you know, use entertainment and your brand and your personality to make, you know, a living and do such great work and be creative.
Yeah.
And I think that's like really powerful. And I hope that you continue to leverage what you've built and just continue to do awesome stuff.
Thank you.
I guess I would like to pose that question back to you is now that you have this platform, what are you hoping to do with it?
Yeah. So I'm 30. I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago. It's weird. Like me and my friend were talking, and I was like, yo, I feel old. I don't know what to do. And he was like, okay, there's two ways to look at it. He's the same age as I am, but he's like, there's two ways to look at it. You can either be, Lil Wayne, who retired when he's like 29, 30 years old, right? And then now he like, no one really cares to listen to Lil Wayne anymore. He's like, you could be Lil Wayne and like kind of, you know, say that you're at your peak and then become washed and become like or you can be like Jay-Z, who's like made like, maybe like the Blueprint. I don't know. I don't really listen to Jay-Z that much, but he probably made like the Blueprint 1 or 2, one of them when he was 30 and his career has gone, you know, even bigger since then. So like, it's a silly analogy, and he said it more of a joke, but I took it like as like I took it more seriously. I'm like, that makes sense, because if I were to just like, you know, I'm 30 years old, like you know, I should become an adult now or do adult things. You know, that's kind of like taking like the fun out of life, and then, you know, so I guess I'm gonna be Jay-Z. So I guess what I'm trying to say by that is, I guess, you know, I should try to do more these reviews. But what's more like, I guess things that I want to do more so is, I have a art page called Babbu. It's my second Instagram account, where I do like watercolor art and stuff like that. And, I'm actually currently working on a Punjabi alphabet book. So it's fun because it's like something that if I was younger and I got this, I'd be like, this is jokes, because, it's the Punjabi letters the letters are to hip hop artists. So Uda is Lil Uzi Vert. Uda Uzi Vert, right? So, you know, Mama Migos. Da Drake. So like,
what about ta?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some letters that don't make any sense, and I'll have to just like, no, this letter doesn't really sound like this. But yeah, so that's like a fun project that I'm doing. And then like my interest more is leaning towards like these like silly little art books and things like that. So like I have a few other ideas, mainly because it's also just personal. Like my Punjabi's okay, but I wish it was better. And I often forget I grew up going to Punjabi school, so like I often forget the alphabet. So for me, and I know there's a lot of younger kids, like I have friends who are like in their like, you know, early 20s, and, you know, I've met volunteers who are like in their, you know, like teens who don't really know Punjabi that well. And if they do, they can't really read or write it. And, so for this, I'm kind of like, okay, if I was younger and I got this book on like Punjabi rappers and, you know, the letters represent, you know, them and how that letter sounds and what it looks like, you know, for me, it's more like it's not like an educational book. It's more like this is intriguing, and I can understand this a little bit more now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can, this ooh, or this sound, this Uda sound makes an ooh sound. So, okay, next time I see that letter, I can connect it a little bit. Yeah. So that's kind of, so for me, it's more so, okay, how do I do things where I can learn about it as well?
Yeah, no, that sounds like, it makes a lot of sense. And I think you're tapping an untapped market. You're going to give people, you know, baby showers, a gift at every single baby shower. You're going to make a ton of money on this.
Oh, hopefully. Well, great idea. You know, slow and steady. It's not about, I don't really care about.
Sure. So I want to take it back to the content, get your opinion on what we're hoping to accomplish and what you hope to accomplish in terms of raising awareness for Sikhism, which is what we're trying to accomplish at the National Sikh Campaign. And like, how do you think this kind of content we're creating to inform audiences outside of our faith about Sikhism, what can it do to raise awareness, and what's its potential?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's kind of like, I'm Canadian, so for the most part, like we have a lot of areas where it's heavily populated with Sikhs. So for us to be like visible minorities, we're kind of like used to it. We still get some racism, but like for the most part, you know, you walk down the street, you see like plenty of Punjabi people, right? So you're not really scared of like getting, you know, name called or, you know, getting beaten up, or it happens. Of course it does. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but I don't know. It's just kind of like, it's kind of like easier a little bit in Canada. So, in America, I don't know how it is specifically, but I know that, you know, post 9/11, it's been, you know, it still continues like visibly, oh, that's a Sikh. And most people just assume it's something else, but not to throw other people under the bus and say that, you know,
absolutely.
they're this and we're this, so we're better.
No, totally.
It's still overall, like, the idea is that, you know, you should understand who, you know, it's 2019, like, there's going to be tons of different type of people around you all the time who don't look like you, who don't sound like you, don't, you know, and you can't ignore that, or you can't be mad at that. You just have to accept it. And, you know, it's better to learn about them, you know, as opposed to just being negative and hating them. So,
I think what we focused on is trying to raise awareness of our key tenets and try to make those messages stick, not just simple awareness of Sikhism, but like, this is what it means to be a Sikh. These are the values that these people have. And be like an explanatory force in our society, and especially in America. We did some research a long time ago, and even then it showed 60% of Americans don't know nothing at all about Sikhism. So that's disheartening, and it's our responsibility as a faith organization, and not just Sikh Campaign, but our community generally in the U.S., Canada, UK, wherever, to be explaining. Otherwise, they're not going to learn themselves. There's no books teaching them any longer, so it's important.
and it's, I think, like, obviously there's tons of other issues that, like, that Sikhs go through as well. But I think a good start is, you know, hey, this is who we are, right? And, I think that's like a good start to, like, people know. I don't know. Again, I don't know how it is in America.
You live in a bubble too. You live in that Toronto.
Yeah, I live in a
Brampton,
bubble,
Mississauga.
and exactly, we live in a bubble, and I kind of just, I don't know. I've kind of just been able to, like, tune out any garbage that people may say to me. So, like, I just kind of ignore everything. But I know that, like, you know, there's always younger kids who get bullied, just like, oh, that guy's wearing he has a turban, let's beat him up. You know, that happens. I remember I got name called when I was younger, but, like, you know, it's still going to happen. It's still, you know, so, like, if one kid were to be like, oh, I saw a guy who looks like you on a skit, that might just make it a little bit easier for him to talk to that kid, and instead of wanting to, you know, bully him or something.
Absolutely. So just quickly building on that, like, to what level do you still practice Sikhi, like, in your life, and how has faith influenced you as a person in your career?
It's weird because, like, my mom, like, we grew up going to the Gurdwara pretty much every Tuesday. That's when we had, like, Punjabi class. Actually, like, 2-3 times a week now that I think about it. It's part of me, and it always will be. I'm not that I don't want to. It's just that I think I'm still trying to learn, just kind of just understanding Sikhi, like, overall, like, you know, my mom, you know, works at a factory, and then, like, would come home. So, like, for her to, like, teach me, like, specific things, I just never grew up with, like, I guess when parents or grandparents pass down, I guess, stories or whatever it is, like, I never got that much, or maybe I did and I just forgot it. Or, so for me, it's just something where, like, I still need to put my effort into learning and understanding. And that's just something on me where, you know, maybe I'm making excuses as to, like,
oh man, I think every Sikh has more to learn. That's the point of it. Like,
100%. So for me, it's just always like, okay, how do I learn and how can I do it? And then, I don't know, I'm just working at it. But, you know, I've lately been building, like, a meditation kind of, Simran kind of routine.
Nice.
Still learning more about the history, trying to read some books.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, last question here. Yeah. What advice do you have for other people who look like you, who had the same upbringing, maybe not in Toronto, but, you know, are Sikh, who are brown, or are just trying to, you know, be in the entertainment industry and make a name for themselves? What do you have? Advice for them?
Something that even I suffer with, or not suffer with, something that I'm not the best at, is, I think, consistency, right? Like, people can be super talented, but if they don't put anything, or if they don't do any work, or if they don't showcase what talents they have, you're never going to see that talent, right? Talent is kind of something you have to show. And, I think whatever you do, whatever you choose to do, as long as you're consistent with it and continuously doing it, that's the only way you'll grow as a human, because you're putting yourself out to fail. And when you fail, you learn, and you continue to make those mistakes, and you learn from those mistakes. but not only that, but then people will see you more as well. So, the more you're out there, the more you're just doing things, I think that equates to success. Back to Lil Wayne in one of his documentaries, the Carter doc, he says the repetition is the father of learning. I think that's what he says. So yeah, as long as you're consistently doing things and doing things over and over again and putting yourself out there, that's the only way you'll get better. That's the only way you'll learn from your mistakes. And that's the only way, I guess, people start noticing what you do. We live on the internet now. So like, you know, it's kind of like almost there's no excuses to not put stuff out. Yeah. The internet's your friend.
Wise words from Lil Wayne and Babbu, a.k.a. Bubbulicious, a.k.a. Prince.
A.k.a. Wheezy F Baby.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
This has been an honor to chat with you, and I'm excited for tomorrow and seeing what you put out there for the world.
I'm happy you had me on here.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review the podcast on iTunes, subscribe to Sikh Meets World on your favorite podcasting platform, and share it with your friends and family. Stay tuned for our next episode, which comes out next month, and of course, be sure to check out the National Sikh Campaign website for more information.